Good afternoon, everybody. We are going to be continuing our devotional series in Proverbs, starting chapter 9 today. And we're going to be reading just the first 9 verses. So I encourage you to get out your Bibles and read along with me, or just feel free to listen if that's what you prefer. Wisdom has built her house. She has set up its 7 pillars. She has prepared her meat and mixed her wine. She has also set her table. She has sent out her servants, and she calls from the highest points of the city. Let all who are simple come to my house. To those who have no sense, she says, come and eat my food, and drink the wine I have mixed. Leave your simple ways, and you will live. Walk in the way of insight. Whoever corrects a mocker invites insults. Whoever rebukes the wicked incurs abuse. Do not rebuke mockers, or they will hate you. Rebuke the wise, and they will love you. Instruct the wise, and they will be wiser still. Teach the righteous, and they will add to their learning. So I think that this might be a good time for me to mention that I don't like poetry. And yes, I know that Proverbs is like almost entirely poetry, and a lot of the Bible has a lot of poetry or symbolism, which mainly symbolism is what I dislike about poetry, because for whatever reason, it just doesn't always click. A little bit easier with the Bible. Been studying it for a while. I've spent a couple years at Bible college learning how to understand it, and so it's a little bit better with the Bible. But I will never just pick up a poetry book and start reading like a regular old poetry book, like what you might find in school. Whenever I do poetry in school, my mom can attest to this. I drag my feet the whole time. It stinks. I don't like it. No disrespect to anybody that does, but it's not for me. However, I can get behind, especially these first few verses, because as the writer is describing the scene of wisdom preparing a household, it kind of makes me hungry. And if you want to know the way to my heart, it's through food. And so these first few verses, he's writing about wisdom preparing this meal that apparently is very delicious. She's preparing the meat, preparing the wine. She's setting the table. She's sending out invitations and her servants to let people know, hey, we got a party going on here. Now, of course, this isn't like a frat party type party. It's the purpose of it isn't just to have fun. The purpose of this party would be instruction, wisdom, and that is the picture that is trying to be painted, is that wisdom herself is inviting us to her. Wisdom is inviting us to a place with a pleasant atmosphere, not something that is going to be stressful, because so like oftentimes when we go and we learn something, we'll be going to school, or maybe we'll be going to some kind of class for our job or whatever it may be. And it's usually just you sit in this room and you got those harsh lights up above and you're sitting in kind of an uncomfy chair and you just listen to this one guy drone on and on about whatever you're learning about. It's not the case with wisdom. It's not the case with the Lord especially. We are invited into this comfortable home with good food and good drink, and we aren't the only person. There are others there that are learning just like us. And that is the atmosphere that is being prepared for when we are learning wisdom. And so in the final few verses, we're just kind of given an idea of, hey, if you ever go out and try and give somebody else wisdom, because wisdom is meant to be passed on, if you ever go out and try and pass on wisdom, you need to be careful about who your audience is. Because people who are foolish, people who are mockers, they don't often want to hear that they're wrong. And so they're reminded, hey, if you're going out and you're trying to spread wisdom, you got to know your audience, and you got to know to give it to people that are actually going to make something good of it. Eventually, the mockers may come around, but right now, they aren't going to want to be told that they're wrong. And so what I would encourage you to do is not only know your audience, but also know what kind of audience you are, because we don't want to be associated with people that don't want to learn. We don't, that's not what I want. I don't think that's what you would want, you who are watching. I think that we would want to be the person that is wise and becomes wiser still upon receiving instruction. So I encourage you as you go about this week, keep that in mind, that wisdom is giving us a warm invitation for more wisdom. And I think it's a good thing if we accept that. All right, everybody, go in peace, and I'll see you next time.